Yeah, this is follow-up video on what I would do differently if I am Wige or Otedola or any of the iNetwork people from Nigeria investing in the UK. And this is just not Nigerian stuff. People from Ghana, people from Zimbabwe, people from Kenya, many African countries understand the need for wealth diversification, making their wealth more global, putting their money in asset class that are more structured. They give them more peace of mind because at that level, people want peace of mind. So yes, they want to invest in property, they want to invest in assets, but more importantly, for the peace of mind. So let's break it down a little bit. So take for example, Otedola 53 million pounds investments in a property. So directly residential property, I understand that. Residential means where he's living. So you'll see that if he chooses to put his money in an investment and live anywhere else, live in a posh hotel when he's around, he can definitely afford that. So the problem is not about his affordability. So we're not concerned about the affordability. It's an asset. It's a lose money for him. 53 million dollars is lose money for him that he can afford to put on an asset that is possibly would not be there often. Maybe his kids will be there, but most times, my experience with a lot of high network people investing in the UK is it's just a store of wealth. It's not something that they use often. It's locked up most of the time, and they hardly use it. So, but they know that the property is appreciating in value. But let's break the numbers down. So Otedola could take his 53 billion. I know he's doing a lot of investment. Gu Holdings, which is recently sold, putting his investment, private placement in Dangote, which is fantastic. So he's got that level of leverage if he wants to invest in anything. So 53 million asset in the UK could easily be something that it takes leverage on. So he understand leverage, he understand financial instruments, and that could be one of the simple ways anyone could have done that. So yes, he still wants to live in a property, wants to have an asset in a property, but that 53 million could have accessed him a portfolio of asset class. It becomes an institutional investor, not your regular buy-to-let investor or individual asset. It, it attract the class of maybe multi-unit block, maybe 100 block unit of property that it can put his money down and own that property. And the good thing is that property would obviously be generating a massive income because imagine you have 100 unit property in a good location and it's generating new rental from 100 units. You're no longer a landlord that you have a management system in place, letting agents doing the management and everything hands off. So you're paying professional at that level because that become institutional funds. And one of the sweetest parts is that because UK it's a very low interest rate economy, it possibly be getting the cheapest loan it can ever get. So possibly about 6%, 6.5, in some cases maybe 5%. So imagine um, with some asset class that we have access to, that any investor can buy multiple units if you don't want to buy a single unit. Imagine buying an institutional level investment where we can definitely push some discount because you are now a major buyer in that asset class. Imagine that, and then you are getting maybe 7% return on investment on your property on a monthly basis. That's one part. And also the capital appreciation in the UK, maybe we're saying averaging 10%. So the same amount of funds, we can distribute it to do an institutional level investment. I have no doubt Otedola will have something like that, but for someone that doesn't know how to structure their wealth or understand how these things work, this might be something you can pick up. It doesn't have to be $50 million for you. It might be 500,000 you're starting with. It might be 200,000, but we can start to help you to think as a portfolio, to start building your portfolio over time. And in due time, based on the acquisition on the property, there is a structure where you can increase your asset class um, on a regular basis. And we can show you all of that. So that's what I would do if I am Otedola, looking at the leverage, looking like it will still 100% be able to get an asset class what maybe 53 million as its residential home, put that on a leverage instrument, a mortgage, and use the remaining of that to take maybe 25% deposit on an institutional level. We could possibly get a lot more, and he would then be able to pay the earnings from the returns of the investment, maybe portfolio of 100 units that he has, would definitely be taking care of his house. So it wouldn't need to think about how do I sort this out? How do I pay stuff? It's all systemized, it's all structured that the investment he has that he's not living in, that's renting out, they are building the wealth and the lifestyle he wants. So it might not be at the level of Otedola yet, but this is simple things that you can do, especially in the UK. You can start buying assets, leverage it. One thing most people don't realize is, as a Nigerian living in Nigeria and as an African living in Africa, even if you've not stepped foot in the UK, we can help you secure a mortgage. Secure a mortgage at 5%, 6.5%, which is possibly one of the lowest you would get for yourself, and use that as a leverage. So to bring it down to a more manageable money, we'll say, imagine someone that wants to invest 200 million in Nigeria. Let's say roughly that's less than 100,000. That 100,000 we can spread over two properties on leverage, and that means two property are increasing in value. So if you want to learn more about this, the good thing is, recently we did a book launch in Nigeria, talking about how Nigerians can invest in the UK, and I'm very proud to show you these simple things. It's like I said, this is coming in the news, but this has been going on for a long time. This is where the savvy investors know how to structure their wealth, give themselves peace of mind, and plan for their generational wealth. So, if it interests you, please, the book is on Amazon. And if you're in Nigeria, we've got the books in Woven Heights, in major um, bookshop in Nigeria, Woven Heights. So you can get that in different locations. I believe Port Harcourt, Kaduna, Lagos, and Abuja as well. So if that interests you, you want to learn more about how to invest in UK, how the big players, the big boys are doing it. They might buy cash, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not all cash, because they understand financial structure and how you can do that with your little start. Either you are employed, you are self-employed. Come talk to us. For some people, it's something you can do. For some, it's something you can need to plan for. So, but there's a lot of reasons, and we've got other videos that we've done that would show you the reasons why a lot of people invest in the UK, and you can be one of them. Don't discount yourself. Don't think this is only for the wealthy. This is people that put a plan in place and follow that plan through, and we can help you from whatever level you are. Yes, you need to have a sizable amount of money. We'll technically say maybe from 100 million, but there are some other places that you might be able to get it cheaper. For 100 million, if you're in the position that you have 100 million and you're thinking either you want to invest in your current location or you want to invest abroad for global wealth diversification, we are happy to have that conversation with you, and we can show you. I always say, let the numbers speak for itself. We always show you what it means investing in Nigeria or anywhere else than investing in the UK. And for some, it's not like it's better, but maybe it's better structured. Maybe it's just because it's better return on investment, or maybe because it's just better peace of mind. But maybe in simple terms, it's just because you want to diversify yourself. So you have been investing in one location, one country, and you want to see and think for the future, and now know that it's a risk for you to put all your investments in one location, even if it's in different states. There's still a massive risk, and everybody has experienced that. So, see the recent foreign exchange devaluation. It doesn't matter how much your property is worth, but if you put it on the global market, that is what it is worth, less than it was before the devaluation. So that's something to bear in mind. Think globally, think asset preservation, think generational wealth, and think how you can build beyond your borders. So If you have any question, we're happy to take your question. We're happy to support you on that journey. If you know anybody that this would be a perfect fit for, please let them pick our book. I'm glad to share this with you. Or reach out to us. We have some copies that we can send to you directly. We've got some distribution network. We can send that through. If you're in the UK, it's on Amazon, and you can get access to that. So if you know anybody, if you want to get into the business of doing real estate, cross border, come talk to us. We have a lot of partners, we have a lot of projects. Fortunately, not just on the finance side of things, we can secure the finance for you, but more importantly, we have relationship with about 50, about 80 plus developers in the UK that they have reputable projects that we can support you with. So yeah, so that's what I would do differently for anyone thinking of investing in the UK. Use leverage to your advantage and allow it to build your wealth while you're putting less of your money in, but you're using the financial system in the UK, a very structured system, a reputable system that has data and history to back it up, and you're putting your funds in there and leveraging on the system. So let the system work for you. That's what I would say. Either you're buying cash, either you're buying with leverage. Would definitely love to speak with you, or you know anybody this would be useful to. Give us a shout, and we would love to have a conversation with you. So don't just see the headline news. Just think in simple terms. This is happening on a more um, on a more bigger scale. I don't mean bigger in terms of numbers, but bigger in terms of number of people that are actually doing that. So don't don't think you are not in a position to. So I've given some ideas about where you need to be able to start thinking about this. But reach out to us. We'll help you to plan your wealth. We focus not just on assets acquisition, just one-off assets. We focus on helping you to structure your wealth for a portfolio. So it's more of a portfolio for us, and that's what we're interested in. Thank you. Please, this is the book. We'd love you to have a copy of that. Enjoy your day. Bye then.